Today I'm going to take you behind the scenes of a payment data migration project, which is moving from one corporate cards provider to another. On paper, it sounds like a finance or procurement job, but for data engineers, it's a file parsing and data transformation challenge, especially if you've never dealt with Visa's commercial file format or VCF. I'm going to walk you through the business context, why we had to migrate, how Visa's commercial file format works, and the challenges in parsing it correctly. This all started when our client decided to change credit cards provider. Why? Well, better rates, better reporting, global contract consolidation, the usual stuff you hear in procurement. But for our data team, this meant that the new feed would arrive in VCF format. So, as you may already assume, we had to build a parser from scratch, along with transaction handling and reporting tables. If you've never heard about a VCF, it's a file transfer function that enables a company to automatically import credit card transactions from their credit card files into their company's accounting system. From a technical perspective, it's a tab-separated fixed-length record format. I will show you an example in a minute, but first let's jump into a high-level overview of an entire solution. So as a first step, we need to load data from SFTP to S3 bucket and decrypt them. Everything is wrapped up into the Apache Airflow. So that's basically like the main scheduler and organizer of an entire pipeline. After the data lands into S3 buckets, then it's picked up on a schedule through a Python parser, which basically splits the data from a TSV or a VCF format and parse it into the CSV files. There's like, for example, an account balance, which is done in CSV format, and then it's loaded through Snowflake, for example, stored procedure, which picks up the data after the parsing and loads it through various stages of Snowflake environment, like the stage, merge, and presentation layer. So basically, we load all the parsed data, we merge it with previously loaded data, and then we create the presentation layer, which is basically create views, add some additional logics, and so on. And in here, I will also show you the VCF sample file. So this is more or less how it looks like. Of course, it's very simplified and anonymized, so you are not going to see any restricted data, of course. Just for your information, this is more or less how it looks like. Like we do have a file header and the file footer, and in here we do have a section header and the section footer, and everything in between is like the records which needs to be parsed for a particular record type. So in here, like for example, we add a new record, and in here we would like to, for example, update it or delete it. It all depends on what values the first row have. And in here, like this one, it tells us like which record type we are actually parsing. So in here, in the section header number 2, we do have the number 2, which says that this is the second record type, and based on that, we already know the structure which needs to be applied to parse this file. So to summarize, file format migrations are one of those hidden data engineering challenges that never make headlines. But if you get it wrong, finance will notice immediately. In my next video, I've explained parsing the MasterCard CDF file format, which is completely different, so make sure to check this one as well. If you did anything similar before, drop your story in the comments below. I would love to hear how you approached it. Thanks for watching and see you soon. Ciao!